how do you even introduce this kit? This is a quarter drum company from Huntsville, Alabama, but it's being repurposed as a Fibes kit. What is happening here, Chris?
Well, how you doing today, Mike?
What are these oddballs? So the tags say Fibes on the bass drum and some of the toms. Obviously, the bass drum head says Fibes.
Got a magic 8-ball on it too, doesn't it? A magic 8-ball?
Eyeball.
Oh, eyeball. That's right. Okay.
These say quarter. I have some knowledge of Fibes drums, and these remind me of Fibes lugs. So I would say it's a Fibes kit, but it's not. What is it?
So this is a quarter kit. 10, 12, 13, 14, 18, and 24 kick. This is a chrome over wood kit. They're actually Jasper made shells.
Oh, are they?
Mm-hmm. Maple gum wood. This kit, a guy got it from, I guess his bandmate had bought it new back in the 80s. So this was, I figured he added the toms on, but he actually got all this together. There's a snare you can't see behind there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's an 8x14 snare.
It's a beast. This is such an 80s, quintessential 80s freaking monster. That sounds amazing.
So that's actually not the exact snare that came with the kit. We sold that, but it's the same snare, just not the exact one. But yeah.
So this also has a Jasper shell.
Mm-hmm.
So Jasper is maple gum versus maple poplar, which would have been Keller.
So Jasper, they're mainly known for like Gretsch. So, yeah.
Right.
Really, I mean, like I say this every show, really great sounding drums. You just did your demo of them. I was really impressed.
But so Fibes was also Jasper shells. So essentially quarter bolt Fibes. Is that what happened?
Fibes will use fiberglass shells. So the timeline was Fibes was in the 70s, and in 1979 Jim Corder bought the rights or the machinery or however you want to call it from Fibes and did quarter. So that's why all the Fibes lugs or all the lugs are Fibes. Mounts on here are Fibes. Spurs have the same kind of annoying, like, it's a telescoping spur, but there's a spring on the inside and you got to twist it. Same kind of similar thing there. Same terrible ball joint on there that like is not great.
How do you even adjust that sucker? That's
weird.
weird.
It's just a nightmare. So essentially, he bought Fibes and used Jasper shells.
Oh, so there's no Fibes wood shells prior to them being bought out again?
I won't say that there are none, but Fibes is typically fiberglass.
Yeah. Because I know the more recent version of Fibes was wood shells, Jasper shells, right?
Yeah.
Down in Austin? Is that
right? So after the timeline, after Quarter, then there was Darwin. Darwin bought Quarter.
Wow.
And then at some point, I don't know the guy's name in Texas, Austin, bought Fibes. And so there's the Austin version of Fibes. But the OG Fibes is actual fiberglass.
Interesting. Fascinating. So Quarter, man, it's like a weird, I mean, where would you put these in the timeline of American drums? This is the
Early
80s? This is 80s? So this was trying to keep up with all the Japanese stuff at that point, right? Yamaha and Pearl and Tama.
And everything in the 80s like was getting like big and heavy, which is cool because these are the kind of the classic depths. 14 on the, or 10 on the 14, 9 on the 13, 8 on the 12. I think the 10 is 7 or 8.
Looks a little deeper, yeah.
Yeah. So you're not getting into like the 16-inch kicks at that point. So kind of the classic, which I like. I like the classic depths myself. But they are heavy, very heavy.
They are
drums.
beefy. So what is this metal? Is it just a piece of sheet metal wrapped around a drum?
Yeah, it's just metal. And you probably can't see it, but you know there's some corrosion and pitting all over the kit.
To be
but
expected, right?
a lot of times like metal wraps will dent easily. So there's not a whole lot of denting on here, but like if you're loading out of a gig and you smack into your cymbal or into your guitar player's face.
They're going to have a nose print in here.
Yeah. But yeah, really cool kit. Well taken care of. We didn't have to really detail them at all. But like you mentioned, there's Fibes badges on here. So You can't see it in the video, but there's an outline, I think, on the back side of the drums where you can see the original quarter badge. And fives badges were literally just stick-on, so you just stuck those on there. And you can see if Martin, these were Nazareth era tags, if you will.
Interesting. Yeah. So that was a Pennsylvania brand.
Yeah, so I'm not like super knowledgeable on like the timeline, but fives did come out of Nazareth, PA at some point.
Wild.
They do use Jasper shells, which is like a lot of people don't know, because you see like this big old chrome over wood kit, and you think of like the 6-ply Ludwig chrome over wood kits, which are equally heavy, and they're fine. But you know, these are good shells for sure. Hardware's good too, but they're good sounding drums.
These are fun to play.
But that's the thing, is they are fun. You know, normally if this wouldn't have been all born together, we would have probably pieced out the two toms separately. But you know, it's a fun kit, and it's $1,000 for all but 6 pieces.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
So, you know, we talk a lot about comparing modern prices. Like, what does $1,000 get you in modern drums?
Mid-level and entry-level kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of drums for like not a lot of money, good shells. If you really, really wanted to, and frankly were a psychopath, you could rip the wrap off and rewrap them, stain them. We're not going to be responsible for any like severed fingers.
I mean, honestly, I would just play one up, one down, and and
if it were me, I would probably forget the 10, 12, 13, put the 14 over there on just like a tom stand.
Yep.
And then friggin' 24, 14, 18.
Yeah, it's beefy.
Yeah, those are my sizes.